Let's talk about something real, something raw, something that sits in the hidden corners of your mind and gnaws at your soul when no one is watching. Lust. Not desire, not passion, not love, but lust. The kind that leaves you feeling empty afterward. The kind that distracts you from your purpose. The kind that takes more than it gives. The kind that wears a mask of pleasure but is fueled by addiction, guilt, and shame. The demon of lust isn't just a metaphor, it's a real force, a dark energy. And if you're not careful, it will hijack your mind, dominate your spirit, and slowly kill your potential. Today, we're not going to run from it. We're going to expose it, face it. And if any part of this hits home, it's time to break free. Not tomorrow, not next week. Now, sign one, you use pleasure to escape your emotions. Let me ask you something. When you're stressed, angry, lonely, or anxious, where do you run? Do you reach for a screen, a fantasy, a quick fix? Do you chase an image that gives you relief for 5 seconds, only to leave you feeling emptier than before? If so, it's not just about urges. It's not about hormones. It's about pain avoidance. Lust has become your escape hatch, your emotional anesthesia. The demon of lust thrives in that moment of emotional weakness. It whispers, you deserve this. Just one time. But the high doesn't heal. It hides. This is how the cycle begins. You're not using lust for pleasure anymore. You're using it to avoid life. And every time you do that, you're feeding the demon. You're giving up your power. But listen closely. You don't need another escape. You need healing. You need strength. You need to sit with your emotions, feel them, process them, and grow through them, not numb them. You are not a slave to your urges. You are the master of your emotions. Sign Bei Tuye. You objectify people instead of connecting with souls. Here's a tough truth. If you can't look at someone without undressing them in your mind, you're not seeing a human being. You're seeing a product. You've been trained by media, culture, and past trauma to turn people into objects. Lust doesn't care about souls, hearts, or humanity. It only cares about consumption, and the more you see people as objects, the more disconnected you become from them and from yourself. You stop valuing intimacy. You stop seeking real connection. You stop caring about who they are and only care about what they can give you for your gratification. This is how the demon of lust robs you of your empathy, your compassion, your ability to love deeply. Because real love, it's not just physical, it's presence, it's connection, it's spiritual. And if you're stuck objectifying others, you've already lost sight of what love truly is. It's time to break that mental pattern. Retrain your vision. Reclaim your heart, because people are not here to serve your fantasy. They're here to walk this journey with you, with depth, dignity, and divine purpose. Sign Bay 3A. You keep falling into the same patterns, even when you promise yourself you'll stop. You've told yourself this before, haven't you? This is the last time. You felt guilty, ashamed, empty. You looked in the mirror and swore you'd never go back. But you did. And every time you break your promise to yourself, it gets harder to believe in your own strength. That's not weakness. That's a spiritual battle. The demon of lust doesn't attack with chains. It attacks with patterns, silent habits, thoughts you entertain when no one else is watching. And once that loop begins, it becomes a trap. But I want you to hear this clearly. Just because you've fallen doesn't mean you're finished. Shame is the weapon of the enemy, but awareness, that's your sword. Every time you notice the pattern, you're one step closer to breaking it. Every time you choose presence over impulse, you gain ground. You don't defeat a demon once, you defeat it daily. Through discipline, through prayer, through purpose. Stop trying to be perfect. Start becoming powerful. That begins with consistency. Sign Way 4 say your energy feels drained. Your motivation is low and your focus is scattered. Let's get scientific for a second. Your sexual energy is life force energy. It's the same energy that creates, that builds, that fuels drive and vision and ambition. When lust hijacks that energy, it doesn't disappear, it gets diverted. You feel drained, not because you're lazy, but because your power is being leaked, wasted, scattered. You can't focus, you procrastinate, you feel foggy and unmotivated. You keep chasing the next hit of dopamine because your internal power source has been compromised. That's not you. That's the demon using your own energy against you. If you've ever practiced discipline in this area, even for a week, you've probably felt the difference. Suddenly, you're clear, sharp, confident, present. That's not magic, that's alignment. You were designed to use your energy to build something powerful. A business, a mission, a legacy, a life worth living. Not to spend it in private cycles of shame and temporary pleasure. It's time to redirect your energy back into purpose. That's when you become unstoppable. Sign 1 Filore. You struggle to feel close to God or a higher power. Let me ask you something deeply spiritual. When's the last time you felt truly connected to something higher? When's the last time you felt peace in your soul, clarity in your spirit, and power in your presence? The truth is, lust doesn't just block your mind, it blocks your spirit. It dims the light inside you. It clouds your inner guidance. It distances you from God, from truth, from your divine assignment. Because here's what you need to know: you weren't created to live in chains. You were created to rise in power. But you can't walk in spiritual authority while bowing to a flesh based addiction. The demon of lust wants you to stay distracted, powerless, confused, weak. Because when you're disconnected from God, you're disconnected from the only source that can truly set you free. This isn't about religion, it's about alignment. You cannot serve two masters. You either feed the spirit or you feed the flesh. And every time you choose discipline, prayer, stillness, or purpose, you starve the demon and ignite your divine power. Breaking free, what to do now? If any of these signs hit home for you, I want you to know one thing: there is no shame in the struggle, but there is danger in denial. You're not evil, you're not dirty, you're not doomed, you're human. But you're also powerful, and that power begins with one decision: to rise. Here's what you can do right now amid the pattern. No healing begins without honesty. Look at your life, look at your habits. Get real with yourself. The truth will sting, but it will also set you free. Create boundaries. Lust thrives in unguarded moments. Block the content. Distance yourself from triggers. Set up systems that protect your mind before your willpower is tested. Redirect your energy, channel your desire into purpose. Start creating, building, training, studying. When your life has direction, your urges have no room to dominate you. Reconnect spiritually, pray, meditate, journal, ask for help from something greater than yourself. You're not alone in this battle, and divine power is always available to those who seek it. Stay accountable, talk to someone you trust, a mentor, a friend, a counselor. You don't have to fight this in the dark. Light defeats darkness, and community strengthens you. The final word: your power is greater than this demon. Let me leave you with this: you are not your urges. You are not your past. You are not your lowest moment. You are a warrior, and this demon only wins when you forget who you are. But now you remember. Now you rise. Now you fight, not with guilt, not with shame, but with clarity, purpose, and sacred strength. The chains of lust are heavy, but your spirit is stronger. Break free now, not just for you, but for the man or woman you're becoming, for the future you deserve, for the divine calling on your life. It's time to rise. Lust isn't just about sexual temptation. It's a deep spiritual battle. It's not simply a matter of physical desire or natural attraction. It runs deeper, into the very core of your consciousness. It's not just about what your body wants. It's about what your spirit loses in the process. Lust is a seducer. It doesn't always come loudly. Sometimes it whispers, subtly, silently, waiting for a weak moment to creep in and start planting thoughts. Thoughts that seem harmless but are far from it. It steals your focus. Suddenly, the mission you were on, your goals, your vision, your higher calling, gets blurred. You start chasing shadows instead of light. You lose your hunger for growth and trade it for hunger that never satisfies. It dims your inner light. That radiant energy that people feel when you walk into a room. Your spiritual presence, your authenticity, your peace. It all starts fading when lust takes the wheel. You become reactive, distracted, restless. You lose the stillness that gives you strength. And worst of all, it chains your soul to fleeting pleasure. A moment of gratification and then emptiness. Guilt, regret. You feel it, don't you? That hollow silence after the act. That lingering voice saying, this isn't who you really are. Because it isn't. Lust wants to convince you that this is just normal, natural, part of being human. But when it becomes an addiction, when it takes control of your thoughts, your time, your heart, it is no longer just a desire. It becomes bondage. You think you're in control, but slowly, it's controlling you. And here's the truth many don't want to admit. You can't fulfill your destiny while being enslaved to lust. You can't step into your full power while you're still secretly bowing to this demon in the shadows. But you can change this. Because recognizing the demon is the beginning of defeating it. Awareness is everything. The moment you see it for what it really is, not beauty, not freedom, not desire, but distraction, distortion, and deception, that's the moment you begin to reclaim your power. And when you reclaim that power, you reconnect with your purpose, you reignite your focus. You remember who you were before lust took hold, and who you're meant to become once you rise above it. This isn't about shame, it's about freedom. It's about choosing strength over slavery, purpose over pleasure, light over lust. This is where the battle begins. And this is where you start to win. The signs of being under lust's grip are often so cleverly disguised, you might not even recognize them at first. They don't always show up as something dark or dangerous. No, lust is deceptive. It dresses itself up as desire, as freedom, as just being human. You hear it all the time. Follow your urges, do what feels good, explore your sexuality. It's just natural. And sure, desire in itself isn't evil. You were made with passion. You were made to feel. You were made for connection. But lust isn't connection. Lust is disconnection disguised as freedom. It pretends to be about pleasure, but it's actually about escape. It disguises itself as empowerment, but it's actually enslavement. You think you're in control, but you're not. You're being controlled by a hidden force that feeds on your energy, one hit at a time. Let's call it what it is: addiction. Not necessarily to a substance, but to a feeling, to a fantasy, to an escape from discomfort. And like any addiction, it's not satisfied with a little. It always wants more. And in that chase, it slowly drains you. Physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. It drains your energy, wake up tired. You feel sluggish. Your mind is foggy. Your motivation is gone. Why? Because your life force, your focus, your discipline, your fire is being siphoned by repeated indulgence in lustful thoughts and behaviors that offer no real return. It sabotages your relationships. When your mind is ruled by lust, you start seeing people. You start seeing objects. Your expectations get twisted. Real connection starts to feel boring. You start comparing your partner to fantasies, scrolling through illusions, and wondering why nothing in real life excites you anymore. You become emotionally numb, spiritually hollow. Intimacy is replaced by performance. Trust is replaced by guilt. And love, real love, feels like it's slipping out of reach. And most dangerously, lust keeps you spiritually weak. You can't hear divine guidance clearly when your soul is filled with noise. You can't walk in purpose while you're distracted by fantasy. You can't lead, build, or rise while you're quietly bound by an addiction you pretend isn't real. Lust doesn't just want your body, it wants your soul. And it will steal your fire, your focus, and your faith in yourself if you let it. But now that you see the signs, now that the disguise is falling off, you have a choice to make. Will you keep pretending this is normal? Or will you reclaim your strength, your clarity, and your spiritual power and break the chains? Because freedom doesn't come from indulging every desire. Freedom comes from mastering yourself. And that journey starts the moment you see the lie and choose the truth. True liberation, real, lasting, soul deep freedom, doesn't come by avoiding the demon of lust. It doesn't come by pretending it's not there, or by numbing it, or by feeding it in secret, hoping it will one day leave you alone. No, liberation begins when you face it, head on, eyes open, heart steady, spirit awakened. When you stop running, when you stop hiding, when you say, I see you for what you are, and I'm not afraid anymore. That's where transformation begins. But make no mistake, this kind of freedom doesn't come easy. It requires something most people avoid in today's world: discipline. The ability to say no to momentary pleasure in order to say yes to long-term purpose. The power to deny the flesh when your spirit knows better. Discipline isn't punishment, it's self-respect. It's saying, I will not sell my peace, my power, or my purpose for a few seconds of escape. It also takes higher purpose. You need a why that burns deeper than the craving. Because when your life has no direction, lust becomes your compass. But when your mission is clear, when your soul is locked into something greater, lust becomes too small for you. You realize, I wasn't born to live in cycles. I was born to build legacies. And most of all, it takes spiritual alignment. Because defeating lust is not just a battle of willpower, it's a battle of identity. You have to know who you truly are beyond the temptation, beyond the shame, beyond the struggle. You are not just a body. You are not just urges. You are not just your past. You are a soul, a divine being, a warrior. You weren't born to serve lust. You weren't born to chase fantasies and fake highs and digital illusions. You were born to rise, to walk in strength, to speak with clarity, to live in sacred power. Power that comes from truth, from purity, from alignment with your creator, your purpose, and your highest self. So don't let anyone tell you that lust is harmless, that it's just natural, that it's no big deal. Because deep down, you know it's costing you more than it's giving you. And it's time to stop serving what weakens you and start serving what awakens you. This is your turning point. This is your rise. The demon of lust may have walked with you for years, but it no longer defines your path. From this moment on, you lead with discipline, with purpose, and with the sacred fire of a soul that chooses freedom over fantasy. This is liberation, and it begins now.